Did Prince Harry win the Espy Award to not lose his O1 US visa? I'm here with DC lawyer John Witherspoon, and we're going to give you all the information you guys need to know. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef, the alternate, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught me eye, and oh my goodness, yes, let's jump into it with my good friend, Mr. John Witherspoon, DC lawyer extraordinaire. How you doing today, mate?
I am very good. How are you, Steph?
I'm not doing too bad, but oh my goodness, I've been seeing this go viral. Firstly, thanks to Tammy Desjardins 9, Grey Clouds Dancing, for sharing this, because this caught my eye and I was like, it's an interesting theory. Let me speak to John about this, because essentially the theory goes here that Harry won the Pat Tillman Espy Award to essentially keep what many people are assuming he has, which is this O1 visa. Now, here on this little doodah that's been going viral and being shared about all over the place, here is what I found out. Recognized achievements and accolades can strengthen a visa application. O1 visa, one of the criteria for demonstrating extraordinary ability is having received nationally or internationally recognized awards or prizes for excellence in the field, including sports. Awards and notable achievements can help build a case for some visa applicants, arguing that their admission to the US would benefit the country. And awards demonstrate a level of excellence that supports an application, making it more likely to be approved. Now, this is a thing. On the face of it, I kind of looked at it and I thought, that actually makes a buttload of sense. However, going into it a little bit more and speaking to John about this, it's not as straightforward as people are thinking when it comes to Prince Harry winning this award and this O1 visa. Actually, John, you argue that it wouldn't make sense for Prince Harry to be on an O1 visa in the first place. So can you explain a little bit more what you mean by that and what your thoughts on this theory is?
Sure. There are a couple of different types of work permits, obviously, in the United States, just like there are in a lot of different countries. But what we're talking about here, as you sort of alluded to a moment ago, Steph, is a visa for a person of extraordinary talent and extraordinary ability who presumably has a track record of showing that extraordinary talent and ability before they came to the United States, or before at least they applied for this type of O1 visa. And when you're talking about people of extraordinary talent, some of the examples that I have seen other people use, and I think they're probably relevant, are people like Wayne Gretzky, who was a Canadian hockey player who played for a Canadian team, but he also played for several teams in the United States. And he, at one point, and he may still be considered the greatest hockey player, maybe who ever lived. That's obviously open to discussion and debate, but you get the idea. Someone like James Cameron, the movie director, who is Canadian, if he wants to come to Los Angeles, to Hollywood, and direct a movie, they're not going to say no, because he is a person whose talents are enormous and they cannot be replicated by someone else, in particular an American. And really what we're talking about here is allowing people in who presumably are going to displace an American who wants to do the same work. So if there are no Americans that can do it, or even if there are Americans that can do it, but this person from outside the US is even better, they're going to let that person in. Elton John, for instance, or the members of the Rolling Stones, or a celebrity chef like Gordon Ramsay, who's in the UK, he's a British citizen. He wants to come into the US and do a TV series like Kitchen Nightmares or whatever it is, then they're going to say, yes, he has this tremendous worldwide acknowledgement of his talents. It's an established track record. And of course, we're going to let him in here because it's to everybody's benefit that we allow him to come in, and not only come in, but also to work and to make money. Okay, with that all as background, if you look at the case of Prince Harry, what has Prince Harry done prior to his coming into the United States? And in particular, what has he done while he's been in the United States? Well, if you ask the people at Spotify, who had some very unkind words to say about them, including the word grifter about Harry and Meghan, and if you look at the track record of what he and Meghan and Archwell Productions have been able to accomplish while Harry has been a resident of California, it's not terribly impressive. So by all the criteria that I mentioned just a moment ago, I think it's pretty unlikely that you could make a case for the fact that Harry is so renowned and so accomplished and his talents can't be replicated. I don't think that they would look terribly favorably on that at the Customs and Immigration Service. The other thing I'll just mention, I don't have any direct experience with an O1 visa. I have had some experience with a similar visa, which is called an H1 visa. And I can tell you, they do not give these visas out just for the asking. And as I said a moment ago, they certainly don't give them out to someone who knocks on the door and says, hey, I'd like to come into the United States and give this a shot. That's not the way it works. The other point that I'll just make briefly is the awards that he's gotten, which some people would be, would argue are awards that you would, find in the, the bottom of your box of breakfast cereal. The Living Legends of Aviation. Okay, by a lot of people's judgment, a dubious award to begin with, especially since it's a pay-for-play award, apparently. And also the fact that he won it. I mean, again, people were so outraged because there are people who've walked on the moon who've won that award. And so for Prince Harry to come along and agree that he should be receiving an accolade like a living legend of aviation, a lot of people just said, this is completely bogus, doesn't mean anything. And the award does not have anything to do with any talent that he might have in terms of, being excellent in the arts, motion pictures, television, athletics, science, et cetera, et cetera. And now this other award, this Espy Award, as far as I'm aware, I don't think it has anything to do with any particular talent that he has. The best argument that can be made is this was an award that was handed to him out of recognition for the fact that he has done something related to the athletic endeavors of wounded veterans. And again, not something that you would point to and say, oh, extend my special O1 visa because I've won this Espy Award. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense.
Yeah, I mean, I've said in the past that I believed that Prince Harry was on the O1 visa, but after speaking to you and you laying it out and explaining it, I'm doing a 180 here. He is not on that O1 visa. Like you said, it makes zero sense for him to be on that in the first place. I mean, when you look at the official United States Immigration Service website, I mean, general eligibility, just to pick out a couple of things, extraordinary ability in the fields of science, education, business, or athletics means a level of expertise indicating that you're one of the small percentage who have risen to the very top of the field. I'm sorry, but opinion, conspiracy theory, whatever, that is not describing hazard whatsoever. Extraordinary ability in the field of arts means distinction. Distinction means a high level of achievement in the field of the arts, evidenced by a degree of skill and recognition. Again, that doesn't sound like hazard at all. Qualify for O1 visa in the motion picture or television industry, you must demonstrate extraordinary achievement. Again, I don't see any extraordinary achievement there from hazard. To qualify for an O2 visa, your assistance must be an integral part of the O1A visa holder's performance. Have critical skills and experience with the O1 visa holder that are not of a general nature and cannot be readily performed by a US worker. Again, I do not see hazard in any of those words whatsoever. He has no extraordinary ability whatsoever. I mean, for goodness sake, if you just look at the tax documents alone for Archewell Foundation, it's reported on there he's only giving 1 hour per week to Archewell Foundation, which, by the way, is being used for his whole Invictus Games endeavour situation, which is what this Espy award he's getting, is the reason why he's getting this Espy award in the first place. So overall, with what John said, I'm doing a complete 180. Hazard's not on this O1 visa. It makes no sense whatsoever. And like you said, an O1 visa, you have to renew it quite regularly, don't you? It's not like every 2 or 3 years. It's what, yearly or something like that?
Yeah, I think the way it works is that you initially are granted the visa for up to 3 years. And then if you want to extend beyond 3 years, then you need to renew it on an annual basis. I do believe, however, that part of the requirements are that if you finish what you're doing earlier than the 3 years, you can't just sort of sit around and extend and extend just because it's up to 3 years. I believe what they say is that you're basically allowed to do your work, and then you pretty much have to go back where you came from, because again, they don't want you just freeloading or taking jobs that could be done by other people and so forth, as we've said.
Yeah. So just from a practicality point of view, it is not practical for Hazard to have this O1 visa in the first place, just for the ball ache of having to renew it potentially every year. Once he's done the job that he got the O1 visa for, it'll end even prematurely at that point. It's not guaranteed he's going to have the full 3 years, let's say, because if he ends his job early, then that's it. The O1 visa is then automatically expired and he's got to go back to the UK, which, by the way, America, you can keep him. We've got enough ginger whining prats in the UK. I'm telling you, America, keep him with our blessing. But guys, with that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, and believe me, of course there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our alternate tribe, like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever. And if you've got some very strong opinions about Prince Hazard's visa situation, and I bet you do, then make sure you send me a super thanks. It's just below this video right here. We can have a conversation about this because it does guarantee a response from me. Thanks again to John for taking time out of his busy day to join me on this video. Appreciate you, mate. But here are some videos on screen right now that you may want to clickety click.